and it wasn't going. I just spoke to the void and I wasn't streaming. Okay. Okay. Take two. Take 2 or 3. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. This is all fine. This is gonna be a pain in the butt to upload to YouTube later. But everything's fine. Castle's also having issues, Cryptid. Yeah, but I can see I just explained the issue and I wasn't streaming. So that's on me. Every time there is an issue, it says OBS disconnected, and I look down and my laptop doesn't have internet, and I had to like unplug the thing and replug it back in. So it is a me issue. It is my computer saying I don't have internet. So for this one, it is me. Bobicus, what did you do? Bobicus, what did you do? Every time I start reading yours, it disconnects. What's happening? Oh, so it's OBS. That's right. Streamers blame everything except themselves. But no, taking accountability here. There's something wonky happening. Yeah. The best problems are the ones you can blame on something else. Yeah. We do that a lot in the house. Whenever something gets messed around and moved around, we normally blame one of the animals, even if it's not them. So I don't know where it left off for that second stream. We're supportive raccoons, but yeah, thank you guys so much, especially as I'm not a big tech person. So you guys being patient while I learn and figure things out is really appreciated. Violet, Papa Cryptid know, and he showed me how to get it back working, and it only took like a minute to come back, but then I thought I hit stream and I didn't, so it took me like 2 or 3 minutes to come back, because I was just talking, but I wasn't streaming. That was a me issue. I don't know where it left off. Hopefully this isn't Bobicus cursing us, because every time I start reading his piece, that's when it stops. But I mentioned in this highlighted section, in the same sentence, it says slowing down and slowly drains of color. Slowly is repeated twice. I'm like pausing because I'm like, please don't cancel the stream again. I want to make sure we're still streaming. Oh my god. No, it's those that are jealous of your success cursing the stream. Is it the anti-Bobicus? The anti-Bobicus army is what's cursing us? Damn you, Bobicus. It is kind of funnier just to think it's Bobicus doing it, huh? Oh my god. Damn you, Bobicus, and your success. Oh no. The Embobster at work? Oh yeah, we did have a struggle with the Embobster. Okay. So hopefully now I know how to fix it. Whenever it does that, I know how to bring the internet back. Papa Cryptid showed me. So crossing fingers, crossing toes, crossing hooves, crossing claws, whatever type of fingies you guys got. I think it's gonna be okay now. We just learn a little bit each and every day, that's all. Maudsley Cray is making rounds. Sir Salamar put him in charge of the work camp. Yeah, knock on wood. Did you guys know if you say knock on wood, but you don't actually physically go knock on some real wood, it actually is like a worse jinx. If you say knock on wood, but then you don't knock on wood, then you just like jinxed it. Like that's like worse luck. So then you have to knock on wood. Thankfully the Desk-A-Mat has wood in it, so I just knocked on that. But fun fact with that. Oh yeah, your desk is hardwood. Nice. Papa Cryptid's desk is like an antique hardwood heavy thing, and we got that from some friends of the family. And bringing that up, oh my god, those antique furniture pieces, that actual fully solid hardwood big furniture pieces, you like understand now why like historically like, oh yeah, if those ever like fell over onto somebody, like that could kill somebody. It's no joke. It is heavy furniture. It's so heavy. We did the thing of like once we got it in place, we all looked and we're like, we're never moving that again. What's it's not moving? Yeah, the desk or my model. But yeah, the desk, it's never moving again. We got it in place. It's there. No. Touching it now. That's why when you guys look at stuff like, okay, yeah, the desk. I just had a little mini heart attack worrying it was the model. But if you guys ever, because sometimes when I was a younger cryptid and I saw like the abandoned historical houses that still had furniture, like the castles and stuff that still had the furniture in it, I was like, why did they move or run away? They didn't take their furniture with them. What happened? And then you realize how heavy that stuff is. And it's like, oh yeah, practically they could not. That it was just a furnished house. You were not taking that furniture with you. It's staying there. So Maudsley Cray is making rounds. Sir Salamar put him in charge of the work camp. He stares at me from the distance. Should it be the distance or yeah, from a distance? I wonder if it should be a distance. He grabs his club but keeps it at his side as he approaches. Step away from him, anon. Bill's not doing well. I don't know what happened. He just collapsed. Wes running to fetch water, but I don't know what to do. I told you what to do. Step away from him. So yeah, this is a longer thing. This is 1, 2, 3 sentences, but some of the sentences have the commas, so it could kind of be like 4 or 5-ish. If you count like the commas, it's kind of like mini. Anyway, I don't know if I'm saying words right. When a character has this longer, like a couple sentences of dialogue, sometimes you want to split it up and give a hint on how we should read it. Like, is Anon here trying to act like he's stressed out? Is he trying to act calm and cool and collected? Is he trying to appear emotionless in front of Maudsley Cray? Is he avoiding eye contact with him? Having a little hint right here would give me, the reader, anyone who's reading the story, right, the people reading it, a better idea of how Anon is saying this word. He's saying these words. So I would, maybe in the middle of it, he just collapsed. You know, saying like, I avoid eye contact with Cray. The lie's coming easily between my lips or something. Gwes running to fetch water, but I don't know what to do. Etc., etc. He's just stalling. Like, different little things here to give us a clue. That would be really good. So I told you what to do. Step away from him. Cray kicks, shoving me to the side. Yeah, see? This is perfect. So Cray says something, but then we have what he's doing. I like this. He lifts Yo by his shirt, Yo's back rising a foot or two off the ground before Cray slams him back to the dirt. Wake up, lazy bones. No time for sleeping on the job. I stand up, glaring at Cray, but he looks back with a grin on his face and points his club at me. Don't worry, Anon. We know how to deal with troublemakers. He nudges Yo in the side with his foot, then strikes hard with a swift kick. I circle around Cray and continue to glare. Cray ignores my threat and gives Yo another kick. My threat. I don't know if I like this yet, unless you're referencing that Anon himself is a threat. But to hear, in the particular way it's said, it sounds like Anon had said something that's a threat. And gives Yo another kick. He's completely focused on abusing the unconscious Yo. Yo's repeated twice. Maybe just the unconscious man. I'm at Cray's back and rethinking whether I should attack him. He's not taking me seriously. Even in my current state, I could probably take out his legs, strike him in the back of the head, or seize his club. Talus is looking at me with an unreadable squint. Gweth is walking back with the water right now. Would they help me or stop me? Should I wait for Gweth? My muscles are tense and I crouch slightly. I want to hurt Cray. Talus raises his voice. What do you think you're doing? I know it's directed at me, but Cray's head snaps to Talus. Yeah, so here... If you want to keep the Cray ignores my threat, for about, like, how a non is a threat, rather than, like, a threatening thing he said, maybe move it to this paragraph. This paragraph, it makes more sense, because he's crouching, he's thinking, he's getting ready to strike Cray, and Cray's ignoring him as a threat. So I'd say if you want to keep this line, just move to this paragraph. Nice, easy fix. So Cray's head snaps to Talus. I'm sorry, what was that, Talus? Is there a disciplinary problem among this group that needs to be addressed? Cray steps off of Yo and begins walking to Talus, tapping his club on his hand. No, Talus's voice trails off. He doesn't know how to explain what just happened without exposing me. My stomach sinks as I realize what I just made him do. I think he was asking what you think you were doing, hitting a sick, unconscious man. I grin at Cray. Talus doesn't deserve the beating. So I draw Cray's attention to me. Cray grins back. He walks back to me, so back and back are repeated. And I puff out my chest. Cray is too cruel, too clever a man to fall for my trick or accept me as a sacrifice, however. I understand. You're all very concerned about Yo. You might be sick. You might be dying. I shouldn't do things. He rears his back. Hold on. Oh, hi, Raymond. You're early in the queue, so you should be... Oh, he should be next week. Nice, nice. He rears his leg back and stomps his booted heel into the side of Yo's head with a loud thump. So, yeah, back. I feel like we just had back. Was that earlier? Is it fine? Yeah, so, okay, yes. Okay, it is the same paragraph. So he grins back, he walks back to me, and he rears his leg back. I think rears his leg back, and Cray grins back is fine. I would just get rid of he walks back to me. I would just say he walks closer to me, or he circles back to me, something like that. Just getting rid of that middle one, then it will seem like less repetition. Then I think you're fine. Cray spits on Yo. I shouldn't do things like that. I rush forward. Cray whirls his club around faster than I can react, and clocks me in the chin before dodging my charge. I trip over Yo and hit the dirt hard. My head is ringing and I can taste copper. I try to get up, but my right arm feels weak and sluggish. I collapse on the ground even before Cray's foot is on my back, riding me into the dirt. Remember your place. He grabs the back of my head, lifts my head up by the hair, and slams me into the ground. Head and head are repeated twice here. And remember that here, you all belong to me. I'll do what I want with disobedient children who prefer to sleep on the job. Is that understood? He's sick. You all need to learn there's nothing more important than keeping me happy. If you get sick, you don't take a nap, you don't beg for a day off, you don't get a rest. You work. As long as I'm around, you will be digging. You will be earning us money. You'll be giving me the respect I deserve. I don't need some high and mighty former pilot thinking he gets to decide how he or anyone else is treated. Here you are dirt. You are lower than dirt. You are the worms that eat the dirt. Hey, Chatty Matty. Yeah. So here, again, it's a great paragraph. I really like it. I think it shows a lot about Maudsley Cray. But I think it should be split up a little bit here. Like, here you are dirt. And then maybe it describes him, like, because he's already has his foot on the back of Anon, pushing Anon's like face with his boot into the dirt, almost breaking his nose. You are lower than dirt. And then he like maybe kicks the back of his head. You are the worms that eat the dirt. And then he takes his foot off, and then Cray kneels down next to me. But don't worry, you will learn. I will teach you. Like, just breaking up some of the paragraph of dialogue with some actions or ways to read it would be better. That's what brings it to the next level. Where am I? Okay, we're at least starting page 31. I'm not entirely being a slowpoke with this. Gweth returns with the bucket. Pato rushes over to our worksite when he sees Cray has shown interest in us. Cray turns to Pato. Pato, I understand you haven't been disciplining these workers properly. One was sleeping on the job. One questioned me. One was missing. One even attacked me. That level of disorder and disobedience can only mean one thing, and it is a failure of discipline. Hold on, I'm taking a sip real quick. Okay. Like even this one, like one sleeping on the job, he turns and points at Yo. One questioned me and points the club at Talus, who like maybe like cowers back a bit. One was missing, as he points to like Gweth. And one even attacked me. That's what I'm curious on. So wait. Did Anon actually attack him? Did I miss that? I guess he does rush forward. He rushes forward, and then Cray rolls his club around faster, and then he beats him. Yeah. So I guess I wanna tried, and untried attacking him. Yeah, and uncharged. He didn't really. Poor Anon, baby. He didn't really land a blow. Gotta keep it separated. And then he said, "Hi, country girl. It's good to see you." Where are all these pop-ups? Get out of here. Yes, Cray. Sorry, Cray. Pato, this level of indiscipline is common when guards start to blur the lines by identifying with the prisoners. I'm beginning to suspect you might be thinking of joining these fellows. So for Cray was a former prisoner. He was one of the prisoners being transported, right? Did I completely forget who Cray was? But that's what Mosley Cray was, and he was wanted to be called something else, but they always called him the other name. I'll let Baba kiss. He just got dropped so quick it barely registered. Yeah. I was like, oh, he didn't even really get a hit. Poor Anon. Yes. Okay. Just for asking here, is Maudsley Cray supposed to be, because I'm reading him as this bully character, this person who gives himself more power, who gives himself more importance than he really deserves. I don't know if you thought too much about Maudsley Cray's background. They call him Maudsley. He insists on being called Cray. Yeah. Was he a political prisoner? Like, was he someone with political power, but then he did something bad and then he got locked up? Or is he more of like a common person? He's supposed to be an absolute monster. Yeah. Is he a common person? Because I'm looking at it, and his dialogue, you normally do a very good job of having each person speak sounding very different. And more than I remember, he's starting to have those longer and longer sentences that I'm trying to think back on. And this could be me. This would be like if I was an editor, I would actually go back and like look at all his dialogue. No, he's a pilot who rebelled in Philip of Narn's rebellion. Oh, okay. So he's one of the Philip followers. Okay. That's what I was asking. So I'm like, I wonder if he should have shorter dialogue. I wonder if he should have fancier dialogue. I was trying to figure out what voice would be good for him, because I'm like, oh, he kind of is having a similar voice, as in he has longer sentences that have like higher level words. Cray is theatrical and scene chewing. Okay. Perfect. I wanted to make sure that it was consistent. This would be one of the things where, since it's on stream, I just ask you. If I was like an editor and I was going back, I would physically go back and like highlight every single one of Cray's lines of dialogue to make sure it's consistent. Oh wait, hold on one second. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, that's his voice and style. Okay. So he's fairly common, but he intentionally elevates his language. Perfect. Yeah, in that case, this dialogue feels perfect. That feels like it matches what you're trying to do. Where was I? Sorry, I got sidetracked. Another sippy. So I'm beginning to suspect you might be thinking of joining these fellows. No, Cray. Pato trembles. No, you wouldn't like that? Are you absolutely sure? You've been giving Philip and Noran a lot of rope lately. Enough to hang yourself with, some might say. Yeah. So he, knowing that you wanted to be theatrically evil, all these things work with that, but then having those descriptions of his character, what he's doing, if he smiles kind of creepily at people while he's saying these threats, if he's kind of moving his arms around, if he kind of saunters around instead of doing a normal walk, if he likes twirling that club kind of absentmindedly, if he's doing all these things that kind of make him come across as like a little bit more theatrical and evil, oh my god, that would be really, really cool. But Sir Salamar personally ordered us to. Cray wags a finger at Pato. Tut. Enough excuses. I want you to design a punishment for these four, and for yourself. Something appropriate for the many indiscretions your prisoners have shown. If you are too lenient, I will have you flayed alive. Pato swallows and turns to face us. Right. So, due to your foul behavior and mistreatment of your beloved warden, Maudsley Cray, you four must... Pato wrings his hands. You four must... Cray embraces Pato by the shoulder, and shakes him a little. That's it. That's the part here. I'm like, yeah, Cray, this is great. This is the gold star line. I like seeing Cray doing stuff. When you're kind of a little evil and you're intimidating people, but then you do the extra bit of getting close to them, and doing that quote unquote friendly things, as in like embracing somebody, but you're being evil and creepy. It makes it 120% creepier. You know? Like if someone says something really mean to you but they're smiling, or somebody says like something really threatening and they hug you, it makes it that extra level of like just uncanny creepy. I think that works great for Cray here. Come on, mouse, work. I need to get rid of this mouse. Maybe I just need to get a rat instead. Shakes him a little. No pressure. You four must begin processing the bark of the gohi tree. The orcs have gathered a large supply, and it's been ground down to its essence. It must be treated with an extract of tail fat and lye next. The paths that imitate the open language and body language. Cray lets go of his embrace and claps. Very good, Pato. I think that'll be a wonderful task for these four. And yourself. Let us not forget. Very good indeed. I was going to task the whole camp with the gohi bark, but we should probably work out some of the kinks first. We don't want to lose too many prisoners to the production process. Oh, that's a plot hole. It hasn't been ground yet. Good catch, good catch. Prey smiles before turning to us. Well, don't just stand there gawking. We all have a job to do. I trust you won't be taking any breaks if I'm not around to monitor you all. Isn't that right? A smattering of yes, Prey comes from all 5 of us. I look over to Pado. His eyes are far off, his face is pale, but he draws himself together as he says it. Pado yells at us. What are you all standing around for? I want shovels in the ground. Shovels in the ground. Is shovels in the ground part of... Polar Operation Fix can resolve it? It was an easy fix. Nice, nice, nice. So the other thing I have right here, so it says all 5 of them, as in the 4 prisoners and Pado. But isn't Yo still kind of unconscious? I mean, he was kind of already seizing, kind of. He was already not doing too good. He was like on death's door there, and then Prey came over and like started kicking him in the head. I kind of assumed Yo was unconscious. So I'm wondering if it's just from the 4 of them, Yo's still unconscious. Gohi Bark will come later. Okay. Then we have a scene change here. Pado has been on top of us for the past week, interrupting our meals, neglecting his other prisoners. We are not going to show him discipline again, especially not Yo. He wooks him 3 hours later with heavy bruising. See? So yeah, he woke up 3 hours later. Oh. Okay. But I think it's just be the 4. The testing on Yo was ideal in a way. He said the flavor was subtle, easily hidden in a stew. We'll be able to poison the guards and knock them out when Gweth's rotation as cook comes up. Why aren't we killing them? I asked Gweth. I like this. Anon is definitely the one who's who's the more violent one. He's like, nope, that's the enemy. If that's the enemy, if that's the bad guy, I want to kill him. Where to place montage moments is a fun challenge. But yeah, I definitely like that Anon consistently. Even with Sir Salamar, one of the first times he ever kind of disagrees with Sir Salamar, that kind of is that first initial wedge between them, is when he wants to attack the orcs, and Sir Salamar's like, nope, we're just gonna wait, we're not gonna do it yet. Even all the different things, he's definitely the one who's like, no, if that's the enemy, then we're the good guy, and the good guy gets to kill the enemy. Anon's definitely the in D&D, when someone doesn't really care about the lore too much and they just want to keep killing stuff, they're like the murder hobo. So I definitely feel like Anon's the murder hobo. He just wants to kill the bad guys, that's it. Poor Anon. If we had a subtle enough poison, we might. But seedgrass juice has a distinctive flavor. They'd stop eating our stew at the first hint of bitterness, most likely. Beyond that, as much as the other prisoners want freedom, some of them still have a bit of sentimentality. If they knew the plan was to kill, they're more likely to leak the plan to the guards and foil it. What do the other prisoners know? Asked Yo. For now, just that something is happening in a week. Something big and exciting, Gweth grins. Model, what are you doing? There we go. What was my model doing? She was like looking off into space. So here, we had the description. Okay, Pado's been on top of us past the week, so we know it's about a week later. But then we're having this conversation between Gweth and Yo and Anon, like we're planning stuff. I don't actually know where they are. Is this them at night when they're going to sleep? Is this in the middle while they're sweating, they're still working and they're still digging things up? Is this them processing the bark? I'm not quite sure where they are in this flash forward scene, because this is the scene change. We're now 1 week past where we were, but I don't actually know where we are. Droning bull roars were easily in the far distance. Bull roars. Am I saying that funny? A barracks talk. Okay, yeah, good catch. Okay, yeah, so that at that point I'm like, I'm not actually sure where they are. I don't know if they're in the barracks. So yeah, just including a little something here. It could even be to help break up Gwess. She has a bit of a paragraph here, just dialogue. Some of those scenes could be good here. What's bull roarers? Am I saying it funny because I have the accent? Am I dropping the R's too much? Bull roarers. You know, one of the other things I was thinking of the other day for some of the hard stuff with the accent? Sorry, side tangent. There is gesture, like you make a motion with your hand or arms, and then there's a gesture, like the clown kind of guy, right? But I guess with the northern accent, if you drop the R's, they kind of sound the same. It's Jesta, and it's Jester. They drone and whir. Bull roarers are a type of noisemaker instrument. It's a rock on a string. Oh. But yeah, I realized these two, because I was talking with Roots about the Poppy Playtime chapter 5, and like the prototype came up and he's like jester themed, and I when I first said it I was kind of mad at his design, and when I'm mad I have more of the accent, so I didn't say jester, I said jesta. Roots made fun of me, but then we actually realized it sounds similar to jester, right? It sounds similar. Fun facts. So droning bull roarers were eerily in the far distance. Such a hard line to say. Their hum wakes us before the sun, and Pato enters our barracks. He raps on our 4 beds, indicating for us to follow him. The other prisoners stir in their beds, but do not join us outside. In the darkness of morning, Pato speaks. The day has come, boys. They're bringing the gohi bark. Okay, yeah, so I see what you're saying before that. Earlier it said already been processed, but now it seems like it's been processed, and now they're finally getting it. Oh, it's usually a stick on a string. Really? Okay, so sometimes it's a rock on a string, it's a stick on a string. Drums sound off. Far off at first, beating a foreign rhythm. The beat is too irregular, the tempo almost slower than human recognition. Orc drumming. Each thud clashes with a mind trying to find peace. Cray has said we should enjoy the adventure of working with it. I've asked around with some of the prisoners, the ones who have been in the God Shadow the longest. Early on, before the discovery of the dig site, Fort Good Hope was established to survey the God Shadow for its potential as a logging camp and prison. One of the trees they very quickly learned to avoid was the gohi tree. He kicks the dirt. The gohi tree sap is toxic enough to kill an orc, by all accounts. Stand underneath its leaves during a rain, and your skin will boil and burn. Yeah, this is like a real tree, right? Cut into its wood, and the spray will do the same. Leather won't protect you, it'll soak right through. Burn its wood, and you might go blind. Consider yourself lucky that's the orcs who are tasked with collecting its bark, and not us. Yes, we have the good fortune of rendering sheep's tail fat, says Talus. I've had to do that before, and the odor is evil. I wish it could kill you. A whistle, like a man screaming, sounds, again and again. The drums are closer now. The bull roars louder. The whine of the orcs audible. We listen. Paddle interrupts our reverie. We are to receive the dried bark from the orcs. Cray wants us to greet them personally along with the other guards. Do any of you speak Yan? I look around uncomfortably. So do the others. He sighs. If anything goes terribly wrong, just get on your knees and put your hands on your forehead. I think that'll be good enough. There are trees that are about this toxic. Yeah. I was about to say, like, yeah, that sounds like some real trees. It's crazy, right? There are some spooky trees out there. It's like even, if it's during a rain and your skin will boil and burn. When it said that particular line, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a particular tree. Where, like, you can't stand underneath it when it rains because the residue from the leaves that water collects just landing on you is, like, really bad. So one of the things here, I'm sometimes very critical of forced lore explaining, especially if it's coming from dialogue and it doesn't feel natural. So here, I'm wondering if it makes sense for Pato to be saying all this, especially in a kind of Wikipedia-esque article way. Like, he knows all this stuff, he's saying it very factually. I'm wondering if it just makes more sense for this to be in Anand's mind. Like, he's explaining it. He's thinking of it, about this wooden stuff and how dangerous it is, and how it's almost this is why it's such a bad sentence that Craig kind of forced them to take. I wonder if it would make more sense as just internal thoughts from Anand rather than dialogue from Pato. That's my initial gut reaction, but we'll keep reading and see. Oh, we're 32. About to be 33. So okay, we're at that place that I want to be. So we'll just read a little bit more and then we'll switch over. The gate... Mouse, stop it. The gates creak open. For all of the drumming, bull roaring, and death whistling, I am surprised to see how small this band of orcs is, dressed in guard clothes. 2 mules pull a cart. The orcs give 3 guttural shouts. Ho, ho, ho. Makes it sound like Santa. And the drums begin again. Sir Salamar steps forward, and I take a step back, trying to hide myself behind Pato and the rest. Hanatel, another guard, oh, I like that name, places his hand on my shoulder and keeps me from shifting too much. This is what I wanted as a reader. I want to see how awkward it is now that Sir Salamar's here. This section is a good place to stop. Yeah, okay. Orcs bow and shake leaf rattles in front of the cart as it moves and blow their death whistles. They shuffle forward and kick up dust, following behind Sir Salamar until the cart stops in front of Pato. The sun peeks over the horizon. Deep lines gouge Sir Salamar's cheeks. Scars from wounds he did not have when I last saw him. Interesting. Sir Salamar speaks to address the crowd. Honored are we to bring a new era to the God Shadow. Happy are we to bring a new covenant between man and orc. You are all witness to something grand. Murmurs of agreement come from the guards. Gar's reach is shorter than it thinks. Here we are safe, but we will not be safe for long. The Duke's Guard will come eventually. Perhaps even the King's Guard, if we make enough trouble. Oh, thank you for this 3-stream streak. There we go, I can talk. Twitch just jump scared you with the loudest ad ever? Oh no, I'm so sorry. It probably doesn't help on being a little bit quieter today than normal. So you might have turned up your volume. I'm so sorry. For this reason, we brew. Sir Salamar gestures to an orc next to him, and 2 orcs throw off a tarp covering the cart. Sir Salamar makes a show of wrapping his hand in cloth, then putting on a thick leather glove. He reaches into the cart, pulling out something gray that crumbles in his hand. Bark of the gohi, Tasak alt gohi. The orcs shout ho. He reaches into the cart again, pulling out a white powder and blowing it in the air. Ash of the pine, Gumbra alt benato. The orcs shout ho. He reaches into the cart a 3rd time and pulls out a chunk of flesh. He holds it aloft. Fat of the lamb, Ik alt weshka. The orcs shout ho. With these 3 elements, Tasak, Gumbra, Ik, we will carve a new land in the god shadow, free from the influence of Gar, Garten Nensi, Garten Talumbla. You're writing a new story? It's been rather intense. Very cool. Weren't you working on the YouTube script, the YouTube idea, the YouTube series? Sir Salamar places the tail fat back in the cart and dunks his leather-clad hand in a bucket of water 3 times, before quickly stripping off the glove and throwing it on the ground. He unwraps his hand and examines it cursorily. Blah, 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 I can't say that. Before appearing satisfied. Men, will you fight to preserve your freedom? Aye, shout the guards. Bring forth Pado. Bring forth the prisoners. Cray, off to my right, bows low and turns to Pado. Showtime. Pado steps forward, and reluctantly, so do we. Cray shouts from behind us. Show some respect to your betters. Kneel. We kneel. There is a future for all of you, should you brew this well. We will create a paradise in the god shadow, free from want, free from Gar's corruption. Even for you. Sir Salamar's eyes are on me, and I struggle to lift my head to meet them. Something burns within me. The shame of the betrayal, my fury at my captor, my failures. I don't know. My jaw is clenched, my cheeks flushed, and I can only meet his eyes for a moment before I'm staring at the ground again. Sir Salamar rests his hand on my shoulder. Anon, my former squire. Look at me. I look up. Oh my god, wait, what happened here? I remember you said you don't like the sexy, spicy scenes. Are you okay with fighting and violent scenes? I don't remember. Yeah. I just get embarrassed reading the sexy stuff, that's all. I want to work on as well, but it's going to be a lot more violent than Silken Shadows. That's fine. That's the idea I'm still mulling over. I need to explore the world you're trying to portray. Bet? Right now you're doing a narrative RPG game with an AI. Okay, we don't really do the AI stuff here. Bouncing your characters at it, it's been rather productive. Okay. It's 90% me right now, sure. When I rewrite it, you'll change it even further. The AI responses are okay, but not your own standards. Yeah, it's AI. I'm so sorry, you're feeding all your thoughts into the AI machine. Okay. So Anon, my former squire, look at me. I look up. I want you to know I've come to forgive you. All you need to do is apologize. I don't ask for it now, but think on it. Serve me well now, and there may come a time when you can be by my side again. I nod. Do I even want that? Does it matter what I want? Sir Salamar walks to Pado and says, I understand that you volunteered for this. Pado frowns slightly, almost imperceptibly in the dawnlight. Your bravery is commendable. but have care. I'd hate to lose one of your caliber to the Gohi. Pado nods. Cray, says Sir Salamar. Cray walks over to Sir Salamar, hands clasped behind his back, grin plastered on his face. Show me to the warden. I would have a word. Sorry. You're so glad we're creating the sci-fi future? Oh no. Where was I? I would have a word. Cray and Sir Salamar turn to leave, and the guards disperse. We get up from our kneeling position and look to Pado, who looks uncomfortably to the orcs. He shifts on his feet for a moment before turning to us and saying, I should learn what Sir Salamar intends for us to do with these things. Move some grinding stones near to where the orcs have stationed the cart. I'm heading to the inner fort. Pado, you're leaving us. Pado, how could you abandon us? Oh no. So this puts us at 33, about to start 34. And that feels pretty good for us here, so I'll go ahead and do that. So I did some minor suggestions here about like where to put in some more details. You noticed a plot hole. I noticed like a super minor one where like all 5 spoke instead of 4. So with that, I feel like that's productive. There's some little fixes to do, little places to add some more details, but I feel like that's a productive, what was it, 3 pages? Yeah. Thank you, Bobicus. I hope you keep submitting to us. I'm excited for us to see. We're almost a few more sessions and we'll actually be halfway done with this. Can you believe it? I feel so bad that we're doing it in such small chunks. Oh my goodness. But I'm really excited by it. Are you planning on publishing this one? I don't know. It's been a hot minute, I think, since I asked you what your future plans are for your writing career. Are you planning to get this traditionally published? Is this just a piece you want in your back pocket you're going to put somewhere else? What are your plans for In the God Shadow? Or The God Shadow? In the God Shadow? I'm making up names. Yes, that is the plan. You want to seek traditionally publishing with it? I think this definitely has the quality for it. This is really exciting. It's still being written. Do you want to expand it to a full novel? Was that the game plan? Or is it going to be a short novella, short story? You're like 2 weeks from being done. That's exciting. That's really, really exciting, Bobicus. Oh my goodness. Huge congrats. For now, oh wait, did I actually mark anything yet? Where was I? Here. Add a comment. There we go. Comment. There we go. It gave me pop-ups. So there we go. I'll go ahead and go back up to my weave screen. All hail the weave screen. And go up to where Bobicus was. Bobicus, right underneath Bobicus, I see, I think it's pronounced Caleb, but then you guys said there was somebody else in who was earlier. Who was it? It's been a hot minute. Some of the keywords is the goal. Nice. That's more even than the old NaNoWriMo goal, right? It was the old NaNoWriMo goal for getting a rough draft for a story done is 50,000 words. Was that it? So that's 20,000 more words. In earlier. Raimondu should be next. Okay, Raimondu. Is that the one that starts with R? Is that El Canadito and the Rooster? I can't see the full name on my Discord because it has this streamer protection thingamajig. And it's on the desktop. Pretty good for first draft. Yeah, Bobicus works really, really hard. I think they say it's their first draft. I'm highly skeptical if it's actually a first draft. I think they keep going back and doing more and more things. Oh god. Is it yours? Is yours El Canadito or the Rooster? Is that the R one I'm seeing? I can't fully see it. Okay, yeah, that is you. Perfect. Do you have a preference for which one I do? We could do either. El Canadito or the Rooster. You have both submitted. I'll give you a second. You do minor edits, sure. I wonder if it's something like the Imbobster is like, you guys know the stories in Miss With, there's these little creatures that come in and help the person at night, and then they wake up the next morning to all the work being done. I think one of the popular ones is like the cobbler, like the little fairies or whatever, like come in during the night and they help the cobbler, and then he wakes up and all the shoes are done. I think that's maybe what the Imbobster does to Bobicus. Bobicus just writes a rough draft, they go to sleep, the Imbobster comes during the night, polishes it all up, Bobicus wakes up, it looks like this. The Rooster is something you're still working on. El Canadito is done. Okay, so maybe we could try El Canadito. Let me get it all ready. Oh, this is a different thing. See? Oh, nope. That's my chat. No, not the chat. This. There we go. That looks a bit better, right? That looks better. The Canadito has an English translation in the same document. Okay, so not truly 19 pages then. It's kind of half and half. Let me scroll down. Here we go. Thank you for having both versions up. The Canadito was done in 2 days because I wanted to make fun of the idiot who won the presidency where I live. Okay. So this is 10 through 19. That's 9 pages. Pretty full page. I can't promise I'll be able to read the full 9 pages. Just an idea. Instead of just a coup, I'm thinking of going full-blown war in my book. That would be interesting. Sometimes writing a full war can be a little bit tricky, as in there's a lot of moving parts. Right? But same thing with a coup. All the political stuff can be very complicated to write and keep all those parts and pieces moving and engaging. But yeah, if that's where you think would be the next rising tension, if you think that would be the thing that really is realistically goes towards, then yeah, full encouragement to try it out. Hold on one second, I'm gonna mute the mic. Okay, I'm back. Just total war, just write war. Just write the war scenes. Is that what Raymond's telling us to do? So, Raymond, do you want to let us know anything in chat? Is this a play? Is this a script? Because I'm seeing some, like, these lines over here, these dashes with dialogue. Is it a script? Is it a script for a TV show or for a comic? Go ahead and let us know what kind of project is this that we're working at. You got it done really, really fast. You said you got it done in just 2 days. That's really fast. I wish I could get a single finished thought in 2 days, but I don't think my blue brain works that way. But otherwise, the candidate. Between walls painted oh my god, I can't talk. Between walls painted a tired white, already turning bluish, as if the wall itself had fallen ill, the headquarters waited. The cold, that cold of a poorly heated public building, rose from the floor and settled into knees, hands, at the base of the skull. It mixed with the dry heat bouncing off windows, doors, corridors, and bodies which had already begun to smell. It's kind of script looking, because that's kind of, we always make dialogues in Spanish. Oh, kind of how we always make dialogues in Spanish. Okay. So it just looks like it's a script because of that format. But it's not intended to be a script then. Is this supposed to be like a short story? The clocks on the walls, too many for a single room, had the same hand coming back around. The same tick, the same unfulfilled promise, the same talk. Time seemed to compress and stretch in rhythm with the nervous knees of one another. Outside, the tall windows returned dull reflections, as if the nearness of night were advancing without interest or cause. The zealots occupied the space with the rigidity of furniture. They nodded again, and murmured sentences no one had quite finished saying without the candidate's permission. The wait for the votes was taking its toll on their psyches. When the candidate breathed, they did too. When he leaned forward, they lowered their heads. Some even sobbed, repeating over and over, "The candidate, the candidate." One, with his neck thrust forward and labored breathing, who always spoke in a hollow, creaking voice, said, referring to a red-haired man with a non-existent mustache, "My Uncle Claus is in Spain, and he's not well." Another man ran a hand over his broad forehead before intruding. "Not well how?" Iron lung. Markiplier? 5 Nights at Freddy's? It's all connected." Sorry. They still use that? That's what they told me. He made a vague gesture, as if pointing to an invisible machine. "The kid takes care of him. Angelo. Or Angel. I don't know. They understand these things over there." "What things?" "These," he gestured again as if referring to an assembly, his fingers conducting the invisible orchestra formed by his fellow zealots in the room. Just as he lowered his arms like hinges, another silhouette stuffed into a light blue shirt stood up, almost as if afraid of running out of air during his oratorical insertion. He adjusted his tie by taking it off. He managed to contribute to the non-conversation with a stammer. He adjusted his tie by taking it off. That sounds a little wonky to me. Maybe that's just translated funny. Who knows? "My great uncle is also named Claus. He lives in Argentina." So my Uncle Claus is in Spain. Uncle Claus lives in Argentina. Okay. As if to spare him the embarrassment, another man, bulging-eyed, his nails bitten down to dried blood, stood up without asking for the floor and shouted at a young boy with golden curls. "That chair is mine." The seated zealot looked up. "What?" "It's mine." He grabbed him with both hands, clumsy but resolute, hoisted him up violently, and hurled him toward the center of the room, a dull thud against the table. "Hey!" he exclaimed, indignant. "Out! That chair is mine." He dropped into the seat. He smiled faintly, a satisfied grimace, and without transition unleashed his fit. I'm wondering so far, since we're a little bit past the first page and some paragraphs, do we have a specific main character that we're following along with? That's one of my things. And again, we don't have to. This could just be like a short story where we're just in the room, we're just this ghostly like narrator just looking at the room and what occurs. But if there was, then I would say we insert them a little bit closer, because we're going through a few different characters here. But there could not be a main character, and the main thing is just seeing what happens in this room. But as a reader, that's one of my first thoughts here. Germs don't exist. They don't exist. Do you understand that? No one has ever seen them. No one. They're imaginary specks. Fairy tales for grown children. They didn't exist before. In the 18th century, there were no germs. Nothing. And do you know why? Because they weren't selling soap yet. Your cat sat on your phone, wait. Your cat is just trying to type in chat. Let the cat speak. Let the cat speak. He slammed the table with an open palm. The dry sound echoed. Soap, soap, soap. All the time soap. They dirty you so they can sell you cleanliness. They make you sick so they can sell you the cure. It's elementary. Basic market logic. First they invent the threat, and then the product. Or no, don't they? Like, well, we're seeing the followers of the candidate, and the candidate then shows up. Okay. The fallen zealot barely managed to stammer. What? Doctors didn't wash their hands back then, and people still lived. Still were born. Still died, yes, but they died of real things. Not invisible bugs. Invisible, he laughed. Invisible is the business. What? The fallen zealot stammered again. That they don't exist. That they're a lie from the soap companies, the disinfectant companies, all of that. From the ones who want you clean so they can control you. Because when you clean yourself, you obey. When you obey, you buy. When you buy, you're a good citizen. When is it your turn? I don't... Oh my goodness. Yeah, everyone's right. That's one of the struggles I'm going to be trying to figure out this month, is how do I help everyone not wait too long. He moved fast, too fast, pointing at cups, hands, surfaces, as if every object were conspiring against him. Until Broad Zealot. Oh, thank you for the hydrated hydrate. Here's everyone's sippy. Oh, you know me too? Yeah, you guys friends too? That's nice. Until Broad Zealot, thinning-haired with a bluish blazer, took him by the shoulder and nodded toward the candidate. Okay, so none of that was the candidate yet. These were all just some of the different people. Okay. Lower your voice. One man in a dark jacket, shirt buttoned up to the neck, a small black cap resting on his knees, looked at him without blinking. Not everything is a conspiracy. The madman leaned toward him, too close. That's what someone who prays on distant walls would say. Don't mix things. Everything is mixed, he shouted. Or do you think what's happening in the south is a coincidence? Patagonia? Empty land, they say. Cold, they say. A lie. They want it. They've always wanted it. First they tell you to wash your hands, and they ask you to sign the map. It's the same movement. You're talking nonsense. You are defending your own, he spat. First the germs, then the borders, then the snow. All invisible, until it isn't. The snow was invisible? The argument rose in volume, tightening, and no one intervened. The zealots looked at one another uneasily, unsure whom to nod along with. One shoved, another answered. There were poorly thrown punches, a chair flying, a twisted wrist. Nothing decisive. They were separated quickly, more out of habit than conviction. You see, said the madman, lowering his voice for the first time. When no one answers, it's because I've already won. The candidate's nephew watched from the back, his arms crossed not as a shield, but as a knot, as if someone had braided them there and forgotten to undo them. In his jaw there lived an old hardness, mineral, a mute clenching I can't speak, that rose from the neck and fixed itself in the mouth, forcing it into the same dry twist that marked the candidate's face. Don't do that, said the candidate. I'm not doing anything, the nephew replied. Don't imitate me. I'm not imitating you. He remained that way, arms crossed, as if the gesture had been badly set and no one dared correct it. The candidate did not insist. He merely turned his head slightly, just enough for the movement to spread. The murmur settled back into place. The silence was broken only by the madman, who lunged again. One of the candidate's aides spoke immediately, trying to return the atmosphere to its track. She aligned the papers, struck them against the table to square them up. The sound was dry and repeated. She said something about zones, about hotspots. about cleanliness and something about ethnicities. The candidate did not look up while she spoke. Some nodded without knowing why. Others copied the gesture when they noticed they were falling behind. It's funny that we said it a few times in the story, gesture. I think even at one point Baba gives us too, and it was right after I was like, oh yeah, Jesta and gesture. One of those hard things I was struggling with. The candidate let her finish. He did not look at her. He stayed focused on the edge of the table, a tiny splinter lifted that no one had noticed before. That it would have to be sanded down later, or covered, or the entire table replaced. The votes were not coming in, or at least not at his pace. The guy talking about germs and soap is basically Brad Pitt's character in 12 Monkeys. Oh, I haven't seen that. Because I saw the movie the day you wrote this. Okay. Because you saw the movie the day you wrote this, but blah blah blah. I can't talk. It was not anxiety, it was a continuous irritation. Like when a clock runs slow, and one no longer knows whether to adjust it or smash it. He thought the delay meant nothing. He also thought it always meant something. He ran his thumb over his knuckle. The gesture was slow, useless. A second later, 3 hands repeated it. Not the same, clumsier, more attentive than precise. It annoyed him. He looked at the group, did not see faces. He saw the one who leaned too far, the one who hesitated before nodding, the one who moved a second ahead as if trying to anticipate him. He thought that was dangerous. He thought they all were, in different doses. I'm gonna hold off on the hydrate for a second. My stomach's not doing too well. I will in a second. So thank you for the hydrate. Give me a minute or two. Oof. If he lost, he told himself, there would be explanations. Technical, cold. No one would take responsibility. Neither would he. He would leave quietly with rounded phrases, leaving others the work of failing afterward. Can you guys hear one of the cats crying? They're fine. She's just screaming at the sky. If he won, there would be no excuses. Only meetings, decisions that could not be resolved with gestures or tones. Gestures is actually repeated a little bit throughout. He would have to choose whom to silence, whom to let fall, whom to hold longer than necessary. He would have to act without rehearsal. Do you feel better, Cryptid? I will. It happens every month. It is what it is. But thank you so much. He felt a brief hollow just below the sternum. He felt a brief hollow. Is that the right way to say that? Wait, hold on, my brain's thinking. He could feel hollow just below the sternum. He could feel hollow below the sternum briefly. I think that one's phrased a little bit funny. In my head, I can't quite explain why. It just feels a little funny in my brain. Hi, country girl. It's good to see you. Just then, the numbers that mattered most arrived. The results were giving him a considerable lead, and his dreaded victory grew closer by the minute. Oh, let me check my lo-fi beats. Apocalyptic thinking filled him with speculation, pushing him into a mental state that only worsened with the arrival of visitors. They came to congratulate him too early, hoping to secure his favor for the future. Others came simply to make themselves understood. The numbers, ever more accelerated and terminal, sentenced him to provide real results and sharp explanations. One of his former allies came to speak about the work they would have ahead and addressed him with open discontent. To her words, he could respond only with an embrace and a handshake accompanied by photographs. It was obvious she had not come out of conviction but to appease the voices within the circle. The parties had to remain united along the same line, and lines, like the lasers in Ghostbusters, were not meant to cross. I managed to understand that reference. Don't remember I saw He felt a hollow in blah blah blah. Maybe emptiness would fit better? Emptiness would make more sense. He felt a brief emptiness just below the stern. That would make sense. Yeah. Not meant to cross. This did not imply separation, something his former ally reminded him of very clearly, raising her hands to form a fist before making a crack. At the gesture, the candidate could only nod in silence, his eyes glassy. With another gesture, he had some of his zealots escort her out, always in a dignified, conversational manner. I am noticing you like to say gesture a lot. I noticed it like the first 2-3 times, and now it's happening more than that. Even this is one sentence before at the gesture, and then the next sentence with another gesture. So there's 2 more here just in 2 sentences. So be careful not to get tricked into reusing too many words back to back. He barely had time to relax into his seat when another figure burst into his face. So far, this half of the story, I'm like, okay, our main character is the candidate. We're hearing his thoughts, we're hearing some of what he's noticing. The candidate is our character. We the audience, are looking into his thoughts, his views, what he's worried about. But in the beginning, it did not seem that way. In the beginning, we were just kind of like the ghost camera in the room. So it almost feels like we switched our point of view a little bit at some point here. We kind of switched. So I would say be careful of that. Be careful of switching point of view unintentionally, having that gradual slide that's not purposeful. Now you always kind of end up with that one word that you use a lot. A lot of writers do it. I can't even say I'm innocent of it. Lord knows I've done it before too. So that's why it's really helpful having these critique circles to point it out, because sometimes it's really, really hard to notice when we do it to ourselves. Another figure burst into his face, far more aggressive than the previous visitor. He raised his voice, accusing him directly of not being honest enough about his plan and insisting that he would need more information about his future projects if they were to work together. At this last declaration, another voice murmured from among the zealots. Sure, how will he do his business without insider information? At the taunt, the man turned, his face red, steam practically coming out of his ears. He yanked off his garnet green tie, his baton flying off, and unleashed his rage in a guttural shout. Everyone nods in your work in progress. At least you're aware. See, we're aware of our stuff sometimes. The story kind of goes from point of view A to point of view B, back to point of view A at the end. That kind of stuff is tricky. But his rage in a guttural shout. Who? And seeing that no one answered his challenge, he lunged in the general direction from which he had heard the comment, spewing fire and fury from his mouth. Cowards, rats, little animals, slugs. As a mob of zealots threw themselves at him, trying unsuccessfully to restrain him, more numbers kept coming in until finally the candidate's victory became indisputable. You're nervous for yours because it's your very, very first draft of this story. Hopefully it will be alright. Yeah, that's fine. I never want you guys to be nervous about stuff. Before I could process it, the command center exploded into until finally the candidate's victory became indisputable. Before he could process it, the command center exploded into celebration, shouts, dances, and tears. At the same time that the fight continued in the background, now bloodier and more choreographed. There was no pause before an old rival of the candidate arrived. He had been his opponent in the first round, Claus. This is the third Claus, right? Oh yeah, just Netflix, just relax and chill. I thought you said just Netflix and chill for a second, Raymond. I was like, wait, that means something. I wrote it down in my notes over here. That means something different to humans. But you just said relax and chill. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's normal. You're always nervous. I feel ya. It's not good for my health. Did you guys know I have anxiety? But I'm not crazy, right? This is the third clause. The two had fallen into conflict after Claus thwarted the candidate's plan to replace the new right with a new right, something Claus did with the creation of his neo-techno-libertarian party, creating the new right. Oh, okay. All of a sudden spicy. With the Netflix and chill, oh my goodness. Still, on this occasion, he chose to come and congratulate him on his victory. This did not bother the candidate. With Claus, beyond political enmity, there we go, I can say words, they had much in common. They began their conversation sealed off from the rest of the retinue. Guten Abend, said the newcomer. Guten Abend? Did I say it right? Like even almost like Guten Tag? Is this German? Testing the word as one tests the firmness of a floor. Guten Abend, the candidate replied without standing. Congratulations, the visitor continued, extending a package. It was foreseeable. I think that's the dialogue again. The candidate took it with one hand. It was heavier than expected. He set it on the table without opening it yet, as if it were an object that had to wait its turn. Okay, yeah, it's German. Okay, phew. Yeah, just relax. Not like that. Not like that. You can't say words. I can't say words either, apparently. And here I am trying to have a stream about words, about reading words and talking about words. And here I am and I can't say words. Sit on the table without opening it, as if it were an object that had to wait its turn. First, he peeled back the wrapping and revealed a book with a light, clean cover, sober lettering, a symmetry that struck him as correct. I'm a little confused by this, because it says he sets it down without opening it, and then it explains how he opens it. Or did I get confused here? Is he opening something else? Because he only hands him one package. I don't think he gave him multiple. We all worded out here. So if I'm, and I might not be, I'll give full disclosure, I might not be understanding this correctly. But with my current understanding, if he did just get one package, and that's what this whole paragraph is referring to, that one singular package, maybe get rid of, he sets it on the table without opening it, if in the next sentence he's then going to be opening it. I think you could just go into how he opens it, right? And you don't need this without opening it yet, kind of confusing us as readers. If I'm getting the gist of the order of events here correctly. Ludwig von Mises, said the guest, almost with relief. Human action. This one is useful. The candidate opened it carelessly. Okay, maybe not the packing pill, but the book. He opened the book carelessly, flipping through pages in large handfuls, pausing only at a diagram, an arrow, a single isolated word. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, what's this? Brain is fried. Yeah, see, my brain is juice. He sets it on the table without opening it, to then open it, like for dramatic effect. He's like a diva. It's a little confusing. I would just say he sets it on the table and then explain how he opened it, because we are then being explained how he opens it. We know that he wasn't opening it while it was in midair, right? Just say he places it on the table and then he opens it. I think that would make a little bit more sense. Because you said Claus's planet-wide orgy. That's why it automated you. It highlighted orgy. That's why I got you, Chatty Matty. Let's see. single isolated word. I think pausing only at a diagram. After this one, instead of a comma, should it be someone who knows better copy editor stuff would have a better idea than I would. I think this should be a semicolon. Pausing only at a diagram, semicolon. An arrow, a single isolated word. I think that makes sense, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Some of the stuff that works in Spanish sounds weird in English. Yep, and I totally understand that. So that's why I'm like, I'm never doing this as a hard critique or edit. It might not even be an edit you have to do in the original Spanish. 10 also deals with the same issue, right? Because 10 writes in French, and then they translate it quickly for English for us to read and critique here. But some of the things that are said and sound very natural and elegant and flowy in French sound weird in English. So sometimes it's that back and forth of I'll sometimes give critiques or make note of stuff, but it doesn't actually have to be fixed in the original French version. I don't know, I would hate Zeus, probably. I think a lot of people would hate Zeus if they ever had to meet him. Oh, it's likely a full stop instead. Perfect. A diagram. An arrow. No, I think that's confusing. No, wait, no. That one's more confusing to me. Oh, you like this? Is that maybe in different languages? Does that make sense? For me as an English reader, that looks that makes it really complicated. Oh no, yeah, it's one of those funny things too, right? Definitely different cultures and different languages have different methods and different things the audience is used to for their storytelling. It took me a long time to get used to the web novels and books that are like the Chinese fantasy books, because they are stylistically very different compared to what normal, I would say maybe American English readers like. There's a lot of stuff that's different, even though it's quote unquote translated for English, right? There's a lot of storytellings they do that are very different that would bother a lot of American readers, except that, now a lot of Americans like it. There is definitely different things that culture and language can have an impact on. Did I put the author's name on screen so we know whose work we're reading? If I knew how to do that, sure. You could definitely make that suggestion. I don't know how to do it. I'll ask Roots if there's a way. I'll ask Roots if there's something I can do in OBS that will let me do that. The Jeff Goldblum version of Juice, loved him. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm on OBS. Yeah, I'm on the OBS thingamajiggy. It is the OBS one. Yeah. Oh, OBS is easy? I'm so glad it is for you. I don't know what I'm doing. I think you could just put a text box with a background using OBS. I don't know how to make a text box in OBS. I know how to mess with the sources section, and I can put one thing on top of another, because that's kind of like how Photoshop works, right? You can have one file on top of another, and that makes like my model be in front of the Google Doc background. I know how to do that. I know how to mess with the desktop audio and with my mic audio. I know how to do that. And I know how to press the stop streaming button and the start streaming button. That's all I know. You guys now know the extent of my OBS knowledge. You had trouble getting used to using quotation marks in English dialogue. I was like, what? Why quotation marks? Were they being sarcastic? Oh, is it like a sarcasm indicator in Spanish? That's so funny. It doesn't even need to be a background, but in your box with your layers, you can right-click to add a text layer, I believe. Some really good tutorials. Yeah, but that's why I have Roots do all the tutorials. Roots goes and watches. I ask Roots I tell Roots I want to do something. And then Roots says okay, and they freak out about it, and then I give them a day or two because they have anxiety. And then after a day or two, I remind Roots that I want to do that thing. And then I have them spend a day or two looking up tutorials on how to do it. And then they let me know if it's either an easy thing to do, in which case then it just takes them a day or so to try to do it, and then they do it. Or if it's a hard thing, in which case then it will take them a couple days to do it. It's kind of a slow breakdown, but I have Roots do everything. Okay, wait, hold on, everyone's trying to get me. If you want, I could have you in a Discord call or something. I had to have all my collab people, like Penny and everyone else, show me how to do Discord calls. I don't think you guys understand how much I don't know technology. Someone had to explain how a Discord call worked for me. You know, on phone, is it slightly involved? I might be able to advantage. Sources, add to, okay, wait. So I right click, and the sources. Okay. Add and text. Where's the add source? Text. It says create new. Do I just put new? Wait, no, okay, so it's not the name of it. Maybe it's, okay, wait a minute, hold on, I'm trying to... God, it would really help if I had glasses, if I could see you guys' usernames. Raymond OU 96. Let's see if this works. It says add existing, make source visible. I think that all looks right. Oh wait, fuck. It wants to take me to something else. Why does it look so big? Oh no. OU 96. I don't know what read from file means. It's Arial. I can select a font. Size 256. I don't think I want it that big. Maybe just size 22. Okay. Oh wait, that doesn't look right. Maybe I'll try it. 28. Maybe it's a little bit better. Okay, maybe everything looks okay. No, that does not look okay. Now that looks really tiny on the screen. Oh no. Wait. What was that? Okay, now I had to edit it, right? I had to edit it. I had to make it bigger. Hold on. I don't want to do this. This is why I normally don't do shit when I'm on stream. I just tell you guys to tell me things and I have Roots do it. This isn't fun. How do I edit it? Oh, okay. Okay, so now it's here. Where do I even put this? Fuck. Okay, now I gotta figure out the new layout. I gotta move all my shit around. Why do my raccoons have ideas? Can you guys see that? Is that too small? That looks ugly. I don't feel like I'm doing great. This is boring. This isn't the fun stream stuff. Are we allowed to submit other types of fiction, of writing other than fiction? Yes, you are. Again, as long as it's not spicy. I don't like reading the spicy stuff. That's all. That looks really fucking ugly. Like persuasive or informative essays. Let me think about that. Ask me on Discord. I had to think about that. Because sometimes people might want to be talking about a topic that's like informative, and I had to think about, do I want to have that topic read as a thing, and then have the words in the, in the essay coming from my mouth. It's great, it will do. This bothers me. Get it up. No, I want it there again. Oh my god. Okay. It's back. If you guys ever wondered why I don't like changing things on stream, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do it next stream. This is why. I don't like how it stops the flow. I think it's not as entertaining. I'm gonna have to change this every single time it's someone else's username, aren't I? Yeah. Every time a new person's up, I'm gonna have to change it. Oh, this is gonna suck. That's fair, but next stream will be even better. I hope so. Next stream, hopefully, I won't be feeling like crud. How far are we in this? I said I wasn't gonna do the full 19 page. I'm on page, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4.5 pages. I think I right-click properties, and then I type the new name. I literally named this source Raymond 96. I made a mistake. I thought the title of it was what was going to appear. I made a mistake on it, so now Raymond's the name of all the names. It might be boring, but now I know who can compliment, make suggestions to while you read. Nice. I'm glad that at least makes more sense for you guys. I do like it to be nicer for you guys. I had to think of if there's a easier setup for me. Anyway, there we go. Now we can see Raymond 96 there in the corner. Why is my model glaring? I swear to God, even though I kind of sound upset, I'm not glaring. My model just wants to make me glare. There we go. Maze the camera. But otherwise, how long have we been streaming? I'm generally, I'll be honest, maybe it came through my voice, but I'm not trying to sound like a downer. I'm actually kind of not feeling too good. I was hoping the pain wets would last me a bit longer. I was hoping to at least stream for 2 hours. I think I'm gonna call it here, though. I think the pain's just getting a bit worse. The water's actually not settling too well on my stomach. So, I think I'm gonna call it here. But thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me, even if I wasn't at 100% today. I really appreciate it. I always want to try and show up when I can, and this is better than most days when I'm on my cycle. But I think today was, maybe I should have just hung out and just rested a bit more. But thank you guys. I still really appreciate it. I hope you guys are feeling better or more comfy than I am. That's kind of always the bit, huh? I'm not feeling too hot, but I hope you guys are feeling better than I am. And otherwise, I think I'll see you guys in 2 days, because I stream every other day. And by then I should be better. It's normally just the second day of my cycle that's the worst. So I should be better then. But otherwise, thank you guys, and have a wonderful night, okay? Everyone be comfy and cozy. Thank you all the raccoons who submitted your stories here, even though I only got through 2. We got through 3 pages for Bobicus, we got through a couple from Raymond, and I know Raymond's probably been waiting for me to read their stories. So thank you, Raymond, for having so much patience while we finally got you in here. But otherwise, thank you guys, and have a wonderful night. Goodbye.